Good day, fellow riders. Today we're doing Route 19 from Flatwoods to Clarksburg. This is a very good route. You can jump in and out and go in a lot of different directions, but I chose to jump on at Flatwoods mostly because uh, further southbound we'll eventually get around to the rest of the two-lane 19 south, but it jumps in and out on the four lane so much, and we were heading northbound anyways, so I went ahead and jumped on here. But you see me pointing out stuff there. I'll explain that here in a little bit. 19 actually continues where my finger is all the way up and gets back on 50 right there. There was a wreck, and I had to go out another route, which is actually the normal route anyone running 19 in Clarksburg would take, because being in, that part of 19 is literally just all through the town and then comes back on 50 under an underpass. All right, you get started here in Flatwoods. Obviously, there's plenty of food and gas here to get started. If you go, on the other side of the four lanes, actually, I'll set down restaurants and stuff. But you get going out through here, there's a diner right there. It's Lou's Aiders 3, I think, Three Girls. That's a pretty good restaurant. They support bikers and do a lot with bikers and different rides and stuff. So I personally try to support them in any way I can. As soon as you get started here, there's a school right there, and I they weren't dismissing or anything, but that truck in front of me wanted to go 5 mile an hour. There's a few things here in town here you can check out. There's another one of those there car washes for you guys. But as you can see in front of me, the aforementioned log truck, they run pretty steady here. I think it's about 3 miles, maybe 4 miles up the road here. There's a big plant, so they're not in front of you for very long. Now, anyone that's ridden this road, there there's a lot. This road rolls through so much different country. It's not funny because you have big open wide fields and stuff to look at on one end and shallow valleys on the other end. So, uh, but this side of the road, even with all the heavy truck traffic and stuff, it wasn't the road wasn't tore up or bad shape or anything. So it was the road was actually pretty clean. As you can see, the you got plenty of medium on the sides. Now I think there is two railroad crossings on this road, maybe more. I can't remember. I'll point them out as we go. Obviously, you're looking at the same video I am. Um, I don't know. Each guy rides their own way, but when I come to a railroad crossing that I am not familiar with, I actually try to get, even if I got to swing out a little bit, I try to keep my bike going straight across them. That way, like I don't know why it's designed, but most of the time the road is like diagonal, so you could actually lose the front tire, on the rail or whatever. Yeah, there's where all them trucks. After that, you really don't hit any truck traffic. So there's actually even like hardly any traffic on this road. Um, and, and saying that, I ended up following one vehicle, I think, for like 90% of the drive. Uh, but yeah. Okay, that sorry, that sign confused me there a little bit. I was like, "What are you?" Couldn't remember what that was. Uh, you actually, this is 19 and 4. 4 also runs with this. It splits off up here in, I think, Wildcat or something. But you can plainly see where 4 turns off to the right and 19 continues to the left. Um, but yeah, there's plenty to look at here. Um, it's it's very nice country to ride. It really is, and like I said, there's not a whole lot of you know bad road stuff. Um, I don't think I really encountered anything on the ride, um, as far as potholes and stuff like that. There's when you get on the you know up to, I think, Weston, from Weston on north, the road does deteriorate some, but down on this end of it, this is always, I've ridden this road several times, and I don't have any bad thing to say about it, really. It's a lot of you know good views. Now there's several things on this road. There's I think so far of the ones I've actually reviewed, this here has the most. I guess it would, state parks and attractions. Uh, there's Bull Run on this, and I think it's Falls Mill. If I see it on the video, I'm gonna point it out because that is a nice little place to plan a stop. If you got a big group of guys or bikers, sorry, um, and you just want to stop and stretch your legs, walk over. Like, you can park. I think you might have to walk 100 yards, something like that, over to the falls. And I mean, it's a gorgeous place. I actually meant to stop, and I apologize for not stopping. I probably should have, but I tried to catch the falls through the trees in the camera. I didn't really do a very good job of that, but like I said, I meant to stop and show you, but I actually went like almost 3 hours over being gone, and I needed to get home. I know that's not your guys' problem; it was mine. But here we are. But there's all your bull run stuff there, and it's cool to just go out and cruise through the campground and take a ride through everything, and jump back on. It's if you're never been there, it's 10 minutes of your ride. Just go around and look at the lake and things like that. But like, I mean, you can clearly see this road is in very good shape. The northern half is where things fall apart. The water is way down. Obviously, you can see there. You also got Stonewall, uh, the lake there and stuff, and this takes you almost right through the middle of it there. But you can also peel off and go up there and check stuff out. You can ride right up to the marina and have a look see and things like that. But there wasn't even a whole lot of road debris, and nothing in the ditches and stuff. But I was thinking, I think right up here, yeah, I'm almost certain. Yeah, up here's the falls, and it's just a right. If you're going northbound, it's right. Oh, there's the overlook. The overlook. That's where I meant to stop at, and I missed that one too. But yeah, you can yell at me in the comments if you want to. But right there's the falls. Sorry, but yeah, it's just right down here at the bottom of the hill. It's a right hand turn. You go in, turn right in there, and the parking lot is right there. Like, I try to look at it. Yeah, you can see another right hand turn right there, and you park up, and go over, stretch your legs out, and there's places to get good pictures and crawl around on the rocks and things like that. But it's always a very good spot to stop and check out, and everybody catch up with one another if you're in a group. But I mean, this road is like the turns are all good, and things. There is something on up here. I actually noticed, well, on the northern side of 19 here. I was actually in on that road. I'm working on that road, so I got to drive it a couple times a week. And I had mentioned something about this in a previous video, uh, where the state redone all the turns, or the turn signs and stuff, your speed limit signs and your turns. Um, I don't know if I ever paid attention to the ones on 19 on the north side of it there. But I noticed it there when I was driving. I was in my personal vehicle, which the one I just happened to be in was the Suburban. We have a Suburban, and Suburbans are big, heavy, top heavy vehicles. Well, I was kind of just like looking at the signs. I happened to notice that one of them said 25. Well, I had my forearm on the steering wheel with a wrapper of the hot dog I had in my other hand while eating, and I went around this turn at like 45 mile an hour. And then so I started paying attention. I'm like, what? And like all of them were like that. Like they had several 25-mile-an-hour turns that were literally 40-mile-an-hour turns in a vehicle. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, the way I think, I don't know who they had come in and do these signs. I don't know if they were from West Texas or Kansas, but like that has a big thing on how you ride and the safety of the person. You know what I mean? Even in a car, like if you see 25-mile-an-hour zone or turn coming up, obviously you're probably going to slow down, right? Well, you get up to the turn and you could have been going 50 mile an hour. Well, now you got traffic behind you, and them not being even close to what you can take that turn on is just crap to me. But I'm venting a little bit because it just makes me mad, because then you see those signs and you don't know whether to slow down. You get a guy out there that's never really ridden too much, and he's slowing down in every turn just to be safe. And if you're in a group, you know what that does to a group of bikers. It's an accordion. There's a safety thing with me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for venting on the video, but it's one of those things. So I don't know. You guys just be careful and watch that. Now here's your 4 and your 19 split. Obviously, 4 goes to the right, 19 keeps coming on around. Like I said, this is all pretty nice country, and I'm glad that I don't have to sit here and be like running these roads down the whole video. I like talking positively, and saying great things, because I don't know. You travel very much inside the state of West Virginia. There's not a whole lot of good things to say about roads, but that's my take on it. And you can take that as you want, but it's really nice when you can just get out on a road and not have to worry about losing a front wheel coming around a turn in a pothole the size of a Volkswagen. I think I mentioned it on the last video there. I actually broke a belt on the front tire of this ride here. Um, my rear tire is like really bald. I was actually getting ready to take the bike in to get serviced and was going to get a new rear tire on it, but now the front tire was almost new, so it only had a couple thousand miles on it. But it actually broke a belt and was like very bad shape. I never noticed it till I got home, and it was pretty bad. So uh, like I've mentioned on the other video, it's probably not a bad idea to inspect your bike, but like even walk around, because I looked at the tire, but I didn't see that until I rode like 7 straight hours and then realized I'd broken a belt, and it was you know quarters were coming out from the inside. So, but yeah, just be safe out there. Those things do pop up. If you feel a weird vibration or something that's not normal on your bike, yeah, just pull over. Don't be like me and ride 2 more hours and then notice it and have to thank the Lord that you made it home. So, with all that being said, uh, once again, not much to say about the road other than you got very very nice views and very nice road for the most part. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Other than you know, there's not trees sticking out. The ditches ain't full of stuff. Right here, you start into the Stonewall Jackson stuff. There, you can get right alongside a couple of their man-made lakes there, and the entrance is right up the road here. But this from pretty much from this point on, you especially in the summertime, you're going to run into a lot more traffic. Uh, I didn't run into anything until a school bus up here pulls out in front of me. I wasn't even speeding. Like I said before, if you speed a lot, just be prepared for people to pull out in front of you. But this time I wasn't. I was actually doing the speed limit. I might have been doing it under the speed limit. I was looking around for stuff. Uh, but yeah, uh, that's probably not a problem you're going to encounter in the summertime. But uh, this is great riding. I mean, we're about to get to the point where right there's your entrance to Stonewall. Like I was saying there, as you get closer to summer, your traffic's going to pick up from this point all the way north. Um, there's several little gas stations. I left every single gas station I passed in the video. Unless you're literally running out of gas, I probably would just wait till you got up here. Now there's I think that's the southwestern exit. Um, but right there you get on 79 and go that way. But 19 continues for a good bit here. That there was some road construction back where the 4 split, but it wasn't affecting the 19 side. That right there, obviously, I'm sure that they do, have flaggers out there, but they weren't working there that day, so just keep that in mind under that bridge there. You know, this little few mile road here that goes from that exit, you ride, just parallel with 79 right there, and it's a nice little road. I enjoy riding it. It's several miles long. Right here, them little dams, I like those. Right here, you're just coming in to the south end of Weston here. You can also go to 79 right up here to the right too. But from here up until you get on the other side of town, you're going to encounter pretty decent traffic. Now, I left this in here because how you got to ride through the town of Weston on 19, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's it's not horrible. But it just weaves around. But it is signed very well. You just got to make sure if you got some traffic, make sure you stay to the to the left, not right here, obviously. You stay to the right, but once you get up around this turn and you got multiple lanes, stay to your left hand side because 19 will cut back to the left up here at the stoplight, and they're pretty much the road on the other side of this block. They're only one way road, so you got to kind of go around them. Somewhere right up here, it turns back into either or. I think it's at the light. But some of these towns are kind of a pain to figure out sometimes, especially if you don't ride through them a lot. But uh, that's what stinks. You get on some of these, and you're always going to hit these little back road or back towns and stuff like that. Some of them can be hard to navigate through. Fairmont's one of them with some of the routes that go through there. Now, if you happen to miss this or whatever, you go straight through that light. Obviously, there's a go mark there, and you can go right, and that takes you out to exit 99. about 4 or 5 miles up the road. But this is exactly how you're supposed to take 19 straight through. Um, but if you do happen, you go straight and it runs parallel right over there, then you cut across right down here at this stop sign. A lot of people do. Um, that road that runs, right there to your right, that runs right over to that street that come down from the stoplight. So if you miss it, and that road over there actually kind of dead ends, doesn't really dead end. It just goes into houses and stuff. But it's not confusing if you go through it every day. But if you don't go through it every day, it is. Hey, look, everybody! I stopped. Now, what's funny about this? I stopped to get me a drink, and I was like, yeah, I'll show everybody that I actually stopped. While I stopped there, seven school buses passed me. And I was like, but here we are. I left this in here, right here on the left hand side. It's across from the new 911 center there, whatever. Actually looked the other way, but on the right hand or the left hand side there, I apologize. There is a livestock auction sales place there. If you're riding this road on Saturdays, just be prepared that there will be traffic there, and it will be not be good clean traffic. All right. Sorry to throw all this in here. If you see how I stopped behind this school bus, I left this in here for a reason. If you're on a trafficy road like behind a school bus or whatever, hang towards the easiest access to escape. I did that right there. Right here, I do it correctly. But I did it back there because I had a half a mile straightaway behind me. Always hang, like right here, if there's a car flying up, I can easily egress out of the way of that vehicle to, not be rear-ended by a car while I'm sitting on a bike. Don't stop behind stop traffic dead in the center of your lane. Stay on the white line. If there's a guardrail there or no way to get out of there, maybe towards the yellow line if no other thing exists. But that's why I left that in there. Sorry. Now we're coming into Jane Lou here, and the speed limit drops dramatically through here. And be very careful right here. People will turn out in front of you both ways. They will turn across and pull out in front of you all the time. All the time. They pay no mind to people going straight through there. I've almost been killed there 30 times, not even joking. All right, this little town here, I think it's 35, 30 mile an hour. But it's Jane Lou's a cool little town. It's, oldish. It's cool to look at. But from here on the rest of the ride, the road is not as good. I don't want to say it's bad. It's just not as good as what you've been riding. And your traffic will be heavier. If you take that road to the right-hand side, that split right there, you can run on up parallel, and it'll take you elsewhere. But it's not a cool route on a bike. It's real narrow and stuff. I ride it every once in a while just because I'm cool like that. But moving on up through here, you still have the good views. There's good scenery to look at. Stuff. There's a lot of water. There's a place up here that has like 3 fishing ponds. Pretty sure it's private, but I'd like to go over there and catch fish out of it, but I don't want to go to jail, so here we are. Yeah, it's right there. But you will encounter a lot of traffic from this, portion up. You're going to run into a lot of well traffic, and they can drag out stuff. Just be mindful of that. Here's one of them turns I was talking about earlier. That literally was a 25 mile an hour turn right there, and I don't even know what I was doing on the bike, but when I was in my car, like at 40. So just be mindful. I don't know, if that affects anyone. Some people pay attention to signs, some don't. But I do believe it's a safety thing. There's a gas station right there, by the way. I'm getting behind, but uh, but yeah, take. I don't know what to tell you on them signs. It just blows my mind that they're that far off. Uh, I mean, I can see. Yeah, I took that turn at 30, but that's one thing. You know what I mean? But when you can take it 20 mph faster, and I'm not in a sports car. Like I drive a dually and a suburban. You know what I mean? The dually can outturn the suburban, but like them signs are hilarious. Like I don't know who they had do that. Sorry, I'm gonna stop ranting about the signs now. But anyways, yeah, the road does kind of narrow some. You don't have the big wide uh the berms. Most of this is all residential. You know what I mean. You'll have some fields. The guardrails are actually uh, up through here. They're actually off. The white line a decent bit. So there's no real. They're not on top of the white line. A lot of guardrails are on top of the line, and that really stinks. It's not so bad on a bike, but if you need room, you know what I mean. It's there. So, uh, up through here too, right alongside the river, you can see they park a bunch of 18s there that them guys there do, and the road's always pretty muddy. Like I said, anytime you run like a Saturday ride and it's rained Thursday or Friday, just watch for mud on the roads. It's everywhere. Everybody does it. You know what I mean? You got private driveways and parking lots, and they'll drag that stuff out. So there's a awesome ice cream shop right there. I don't know how you other riders are, but like people I ride with, if I ride with people, you got to stop and get some ice cream. Which, being having the diabetes, it's not the coolest thing getting to watch everybody chow down on 15 ice cream cones. But here we are, poor decisions in life, I guess. But going forward here, like I said, the the everything deteriorates the further you go north. The ditches do, there's a lot of debris and stuff like that. But at no point did I think that this road is unrideable or even close to it. I mean, it's a very good riding road. I just don't want to mislead you saying the whole road is clean. It's not. The northern side towards Clarksburg is not very good. Uh, as far as debris and traffic and the roughness of the road. Um, I can't remember if I left some, but I need to bring it up if I did leave it in here. Um, Actually edited this video yesterday, and I gotta wait till my 13 kids ain't here so I can do a voiceover. Um, yeah, right here, the Dodge garage. I don't know. It's kind of blind pull out, but most generally I get pulled out in front of her. But most generally I slow down because I know that. So going forward, there's a golf course there to the left too. Them guys are probably half drunk. You know what I mean? So just be mindful in that area. You're almost to Rosebud on 19. So, and right here at Rosebud also, uh, there's is a very trafficy area. There's a car wash right there. They always drag water out, and these right through here, they will, you know. But some people just don't see bikes, man. So I'm just trying to point out like places with high traffic, and they just pull out. Now normally 19 actually continues straight right here, and it goes. I think it's like 4 miles, and it comes out on 50. But there was a wreck up here. You can see traffic in this lane backed all the way up, and coming off this exit right here, all backed up. Normally, there's one or two cars at this stoplight. So me knowing that, I went ahead and went uh, out this route right here, which is normally a where anyone traveling 19 would come in and out of anyways to stay out of town. This leads you right to 50. The exits are literally, once you get to 50, they're like 2 miles apart. So this is the way that anybody going to 19 would come off of 50. The other way, you got 17 lights and ducking in and out of traffic. So this is how a normal person would, I would suppose. Uh, but that, with that being said, um, please let me know if you're liking the videos. If you're liking how I'm voiceovering what I'm talking about. If you want me to do less of something, more of something, point this out. Where's this? I don't know unless you tell me. You know what I mean? Do you enjoy me just sitting here talking about stuff? Or, what do you think? I'm asking everyone to comment, you know, and let me know what you think. You know what I mean? I can't fix it if I don't know it's broken. So, with that being said, thanks for actually watching the videos, and we'll continue to put them out, but we'll see you on the next one there, and be safe out there.